To be honest, I've so much to process. I don't want to backtrack. Like I was saying, I'm going to keep moving forward. This is a no smoke day. This is a no fire day. This is just a day. Now you'll see these little white elements as they scatter out of the grass very fast. In the back in the clouds, these elements, we call them the threads. I don't know how to classify these black. You would think that it's coming from a fire, but it's not. And it has nothing to do with a carbon burnt element. It is the element. So there's something happening in these clouds, and I'm going to show you a little bit of just within 2 days of what I found in the clouds. Very interesting stuff, and especially the clouds that build up out to sea. I've inverted it now so I can get a little bit crisper, but you can see some really weird action happening out of these clouds. And no, they're not birds or anything like that. I'm still slowing everything down by 1,000%, sometimes 2,000%, depends how fast the object is. But an interesting object, and he splits himself into two and he gathers himself. So I think this footage was the following day. These clouds were not out at sea, but they were just above the lake. But again, okay, that's a dragonfly, which is really nice. You can see the dragonfly coming past, and he's in the shape of a dragonfly. But right up in these clouds, you get these little orbs. And again, slow down by 1,000%. These guys are really going quite fast. And there are some elements you'll see across the screen that are going 3 times faster than what they are going. There's always elements going faster and faster and faster behind the background. But really interesting, these elements, they like cruise up in our sky. Again, without awesome camera, so hard to convince you that it is not a butterfly or bird, but we're really quite far up there. We're at least, the cloud base is 500 meters. That's how far up we are. We are right up in the clouds. And some of them you can see disappear into the cloud, but no wing structure. You can see with the dragonflies and the birds, there is just nothing. It's these dark black little plates. We called them the skates and we called them the threads. It's all of these elements. They are the same. But during the day, without fires and smokes, they cruise right up there at the top cloud base level. So yeah, this is like what happens on a daily basis, I would presume, across the entire world. These elements are scattered. And you see these two coming in. You can see now as he goes in through some cloud, a little bit out. So he's way up there. They don't flock like birds. They don't fly like birds. Well, I know they're not birds. They're just not birds. And yeah. But I want to show you now, because now we're going to talk about birds. I want to show you something that caught my eye, and I found it really interesting. Because I am a bird person. I live with birds every day. So this was a fire. Normally we'd have all of these threads and these elements that you call ash just shooting themselves at the drone, just everywhere. This particular day, we had nothing, but we had these birds. But there was something odd about these birds. It was just something really odd. I've never seen, even in the bird book or Wikipedia, this bird with his wings so far up in the front of his body, and behind him is just this massive white torso. I battled in the bird book to find this bird. So when we have a closer look, now he's leaving the ground. You can do one flap, a tiny amount of flapping to raise off the ground. You have to put in a lot of effort to get yourself up, so he doesn't do much of it. But this is where it gets intriguing. So how did he just get that big white body and his wings? He got like these flashes of light, and he releases these little elements, and then all of a sudden he just changes and you can't see that white anymore. It really is something I can't explain. You get these elements leaving the ground, like the back, but without flapping a single wing. And that is like really impossible to do for a bird. Super impossible. And when I watch them further and further, I don't understand what's going on here. But it sort of then starts to make sense. As they release objects that you see every now and again in a bad pixelation and gather an object, There would have to be collectors and retrievers for the fire, for after the fire, to go and collect all of these little elements, to disperse these elements. But I really do feel that these guys are part and parcel of our great mystery as well. And I think the black elements that we film and the white elements can conjoin and create this, which would be a mimic of a bird, but it is not a bird. There is some sort of experiment going on, I would say, by our visiting friends. But we just don't get birds like this in southern Mozambique. And any of my bird lovers that are watching this, you're going to figure out what kind of bird that is. But as far as I can see now when we zoom in, it is no bird that we have at all. And look at the background on the road. One's leaving the road. But completely that pitch black, and he didn't even flap his wing to elevate himself. It's quite remarkable.